Welcome to Small Caps, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kerry Stevenson. I've asked Mark Cossom, Managing Director of Gateway Mining over there in the West, to join us today. The ASX code is GML. The last time I spoke to Mark, he said he was unlocking the district. There was plenty of news coming forward. Guess what? There is plenty of news, and I've asked him to come back and tell us what the updates are. Mark, great to see you. Thanks for coming back to Small Caps and having a chat.
Thanks, Kerry. It's always good to speak to you. Thanks.
Well, the news is out around those, extensive high-grade assay results from that Julius deposit. And so can you just give us an update, what it's showing and why you're pretty pumped about the news that's coming out?
Yeah, thanks. Well, I guess Julius, that's really been a big focus for us this whole year. Done a couple of drilling programs out there now, and we're really excited by it. This latest set of results has really shown that the potential, not only the potential there, but it's real. This shallow oxide zone gold deposit, some good grade, consistent mineralisation. We've been drilling it out now for about 9 months, and we've shown that over 500 metres, there's this nice consistent zone of mineralisation that's really hanging together well. We'll go forward and put a new resource estimate on this in the coming months. But beyond that, we did a lot of air core drilling, between last time we spoke and now, and we were able to show that this thing keeps going. So, over another 800 metres to the southwest, we've picked up mineralisation with the air core. So there's still plenty of scope to expand what we've got on top of these latest results, which will form the initial resource. And this is, located about 2 k's from our existing resources, so it's in the same area. It's consistent with our strategy of finding all these resources around Gidgee that are nearby and complementing each other.
You said just a moment ago it shows that it's hanging together well. What does that mean for us non-geos out there, Mark? What does hanging together well mean?
Oh, look, sometimes with gold deposits, as anyone who's worked in gold deposits knows, they can be a little bit difficult to make them, sort of be able to be interpreted from one part to the next, and it can be a bit of a tricky metal that way sometimes. But every now and again, you come across a deposit, Julius looks like, where every time we drill it, every time we step out another 50 metres and keep drilling it, it's where we think it's going to be. It's the thickness what we think it's going to be. The grade tenor is pretty much what we expect it to be, and it's just a beauty. You don't get them that often in the goldfields of WA, and when you get them, you really enjoy it.
Just remind us as well how you came across this project. There's not that much drilling that's been done in the past, is that right?
Yeah, well, look, there was a bit there from sort of earlier in the 2000s, but it was drilling nearby on a bit of a base metals target, and there was a few gold hits in there, and it hadn't really been pursued. Our geos, sort of late last year, picked up on it and saw there was a lot of potential there to really chase this as a gold target, which we did. And, we started drilling, got some good results, usual story, kept following up. And like I said, the main initial area, which we've now drilled on a 25 by 25 metre pattern, that's great, hanging together beautifully. But then we kept drilling it to the southwest and were able to show that it continued, for nearly another kilometre. So there's still plenty of scope there, and it's become, a real major target for us.
You said it was fairly shallow. How deep have you drilled?
Well, we've drilled it down in total now to about 100 metres below surface, and the mineralisation. So it's not huge, not a huge depth. But the exciting thing is that the best grade mineralisation and really the focus of what we've been targeting is in the real shallow stuff. So we've got some results in this latest round of drilling that show that it pretty much continues all the way up to surface, which is fantastic. And really the bulk of the gold is in the sort of the top 50 or 60 metres. So really well placed for cheap open pit mining. It's really weathered rock, so it's nice and soft and accessible. So it has all the hallmarks of a great deposit.
What's the strategy with the project going forward, Mark? You said you've been drilling all this year. Are you going to just continue to drill? Are you going to be looking to get a mineral resource estimate out later this year? Talk to us about the strategy from now, when I'm speaking to you in sort of late August, to the end of the year.
Yeah, look, our strategy, as we've been saying for a while now, is is to keep building the mineral resource base at Gidgee. So we'll do a maiden mineral resource estimate on Julius here. We already have just under 450,000 ounces already on the project. So, this will add to that. And then we've continued to keep drilling in the meantime. So even though obviously, market conditions, and there's been a lot of talk about assay delays and the like with over here in WA, we sort of took the view that, no, we're going to stick to the strategy and keep going. So we've continued to keep drilling. We are drilling around our existing resources now to expand them. So, really we're continuing on this path of continue to add resources in this area and making sure they're all complementary for each other. So they're all within a 5 kilometre radius. That's where we've been targeting the vast majority of our drilling, and that's where all the gold is we've been finding to date.
Talk to us about grade, because you say it's going to be cheap, open pit, easy. It's quite soft material. What sort of grades are you finding?
Well, look, it's obviously the resource estimate is still to be completed, so that will come out in due course. But if we look at the sort of the types of grades that we're getting in these latest drill intercepts, we can see there's this consistent sort of zone of 2 to 3 grams per tonne. With some the best intercept we had in this latest result was this latest round of results was 11 metres at 6. So there's some really nice sweet spots in there. But yeah, just this consistent 2 to 3 gram zone, basically coming all the way up to surface, which is just that's fantastic. And there's not a lot of those types of deposits left in WA, so this is really unique.
Now, you've actually had a couple of new appointees to the board, and I think it's important to share this with our audience, because these are, I guess, seasoned directors who understand this sector. Just talk to us about their appointments and why you brought them on board.
Yeah, right. Well, we that's exactly right, Kerry. We added a new board member about a month ago now, Peter Lester. So he's a really experienced mining engineer based over here in WA. He's currently on the board of a couple of different companies, and but has a track record of really being involved in some big mining operations, both guys like Newcrest Mining, and also a lot of work in business development with Oxiana. But then he's been involved with a lot of smaller companies, Dore Minerals. He was the chairman of, so development companies building new gold mines, evaluating and bringing them online. So his skill set we saw has been key to help progressing the project, and that really we think is important to be able to do that internally and have those skills there. And then Deb Fullerton, she's been a non-exec on the board for a little while, but she was CEO of West Gold Resources, which is one of the mid-tier gold producers in WA. She's no longer CEO there and really wanted to step up and help lead the company, and we saw that as a great opportunity for us to harness her skill set. So she's a seasoned industry sort of figure, really got a great reputation, and to have her as our chair is a real plus for the company.
Oh, I think it's fantastic, and I guess it's a vote of confidence in the fact that there's 2 board members coming on, and Deb, I agree, she's got a great track record, as does Peter Lester, because I'm sure you'll watch this at some point, Peter. We love you, but great additions to the board. But to me, looking from the outside in, it's a vote of confidence in the project and what they see as opportunity going forward. So how involved will they be? And what do you, I don't want you to speak for them necessarily, but what was it that they liked about the project?
Definitely. The project was the main thing that sort of attracted them, and I think that's the thing when most people sit down and have a look at this project, it jumps out at you as what the potential there is. And so we really wanted to get them on board. Now that we have, if you look at the spread of skills on our board and the experience there, we're uniquely positioned with having the right people and the right team to lead this company forward. But it was really just come down to they see the project, they see the potential there, and the work that we're doing, and the approach we're taking, and they want to get involved. So that's fantastic from our point of view, and I think from shareholders' point of view, it's good having those types of people around, and they're active. They speak to me regularly. They come in and just want to find out what's going on. They're not just sitting back. They're really seeing where they can add value and help us to drive this company forward.
Well, speaking of the board, that's a nice segue into something that's just happened, and I think it's important to, I guess, unpack this a little bit and find out the rationale behind it. You've just done a 1 for 10 consolidation. I think that's already gone through, been approved.
That's right. Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
what was the reasoning behind that, and what's the new share structure look like?
Yeah, well, I guess, just the fact of the age of Gateway and the nature of the business, we ended up with a capital structure of about 2.2 billion shares. And we really saw that as being a little bit of a, distraction from the company and where we are and what we're doing. And so it had always been something we talked about, but we decided to bite the bullet and do it and do a 1 for 10 consolidation. So that was approved at the EGM on Monday. And really what that means, we'll come out at the end of that in a week and so's time, and nice tight structure, 220 odd million shares, and really what it'll do is put focus back on just what this company is, and that's WA focused gold explorer with a serious project in WA with a lot of potential, and it'll be what we think will be a really attractive investment proposition.
Now, I hate to do the IUM side of the business, but there are a few goldies over there that are saying, oh, we found some lithium pegmatites. Are you pure gold, not looking for anything else, Kerry? We know what we've got, and that's what our structure is looking like.
Yeah, no, we're not looking at anything else. I get asked that question in the current sort of market quite a lot. No, look, we're a gold-focused company. Our shareholders are involved. Our major shareholders are involved with the company to be exposed to the project and the WA gold exploration story, if you like. So that's what we do. That's where we're focused. Where we see potential for other possibilities on our ground, and we do keep our eyes open to it. We'll look to bring in sort of partners who can specialise in that and have deals to expose our shareholders for it. But as it stands at the moment, we are purely just looking at the gold, and we're not letting ourselves be distracted by other things that are going on in the commodity space. We think that gold has a good story, long story in WA and in Australia, and everyone understands it, and this is where we are.
Don't worry, you're talking to the world's gold bug here. I love, love the gold. It's a big area that you've got, though, as well, Mark. It's 1,000 square kilometres. How do you work out where to go?
Wow, that's always the challenge, making sure you put your resources, in terms of your cash where it needs to go, but you're also looking for the possibilities, the what if. So we do sort of balance out our work programs, and they're not real high profile, and we don't spend a lot of time, talking about them. But in the background, we're constantly looking at, like you said, it's a big project. It's 1,000 square kilometres. There's a lot of potential there. So we are doing the sort of the unsexy work, if you like, of that sort of early stage exploration. A lot of geophysics, a lot of sort of soil sampling and the like, and trying to delineate those next places to go to. And in fact, we've got a drill campaign coming up towards the end of the year, which will be looking at some of these more regional targets and just trying to make sure that we're progressing the project as a whole, while still maintaining our prime focus on those resource areas and expanding the resources. So it is a balancing act, but it's one I think that we're pretty good at.
Kind of trying to do a picture, because we don't have the pictures on screen, but a picture for our listeners out there about the project and where you're looking at the moment. Do you see, and I know it's further down the track, a big, this all hanging together, all these different deposits, discoveries hanging together in one big open pit? Is that what you're looking at?
A series of open pits nearby. And we're doing some drilling right now, or we've just finished some drilling, where three of our existing resources are really nearby. And we had a real strong geological idea that they're actually all related. So we've just been completing a heap of RC drilling between these. So that's the Montague, the Evermore, and the Whistler deposits. We really think that they are related, and so we're trying to join them up. So we've been doing a fair bit of work on that. And if that comes off, then there's one big deposit there, which would stretch for probably about 2.5 kilometres in total, which is fantastic potential. So that is something we're pursuing. And then, bigger picture, when we look at this sort of project, 1,000 square kilometres, there's three main mineralized structures through this area, and we've got ground that covers all three of them. And just the nature of the project, this really hasn't been evaluated in the past. So there's a lot of potential to find more gold there, because there's big swathes of ground with potential host structures that just haven't really been explored. So we have a really unique opportunity in an area of WA that's not really out there, and not some weird place to go. It's right in the middle of the goldfields of WA.
Why hasn't it been, because you've got your hands on it, but I just wonder why people hadn't been looking at it before and done a lot more drilling.
Yeah, it's one of those areas where it was never a real sexy area to go to, So there's been mining there. We've had, 5 open pits were mined there, between 1988 and 1993. And then it's just, I don't know, the history of the project, when you look back, it was, in a series of junior companies and people who weren't really committed to exploring it. And then, all of a sudden time gets by, and then we're in the, 2015, 2016, and then all of a sudden Gateway, gets reset as a company, and the people involved see the potential in this project, and we've been hitting it hard really since about 2018 and showing that there's a lot of gold there. So we're probably the first people, inside the last 35 years to really go hard at this project, and we've shown there's a lot of gold to be found there. There's plenty more to be done.
I guess the other thing is you've got to be systematic about this, haven't you? Because if you're not, you're going to waste a lot of shareholder funds. Yeah,
that's right. And we are very conscious of that what we're doing has a very clear strategy and a very systematic nature, because it's easy to, as you say, sort of blow money just going here, there and everywhere. So, we are being very disciplined in our approach. We're working around our existing resources and keeping tight within this sort of, most of the work being done within this 5-kilometre radius, because, we want to find things that deposits work for each other and complement the project overall, so that, we can get to a point where, evaluating the economic potential is a real thing, and we can look at, just what value we can unlock from the project for shareholders.
Mark, there's a lot of companies out there. We all know that. What do you think sets Gateway apart from others?
Well, I guess there's 3 things, Kerry. And, the first is, these recent board appointments in Peter and Deb, they're people with that type of background, that type of reputation, having them involved in the board and at such a sort of key level, that really is a vote of confidence in the project and what we've got to take forward. The second is that, particularly over the past 18 months, we've been able to show that this project is able to, there's new discoveries being found. And Julius, we released today, that's a prime example, brand new discoveries to be found in the heart of the goldfields of WA. And the third is that we're well funded. We've got the end of the last quarter, we still had $3.7 million in cash and about $1.6 million in listed investments. So we've got the funding there to go about and unlock the value in this project, and to keep systematically exploring these resource areas and adding to the resource base. And that's our aim, our goal, and that's what we're going to do.
Well, I love the fact that you've been just being very systematic about it. Congratulations on the results today. I'm sure there's going to be plenty more to come. So keep us updated here on Small Caps. But for now, Mark Cossom, Managing Director at Gateway Mining, thanks so much for joining me today on Small Caps.
Thanks, Kerry. It's great. Thank you.